Hey there, everybody. It's Fred Thomas, and you're watching Rideable TV, the YouTube channel for Frame and Wheel 80 bikes and all things bike. And today I'm going to talk about this Cannondale CAAD 13 road bike. But before I do that, let me remind you that Frame and Wheel is a leading full-service provider of selling services for cyclists, bike shops, bike companies, bike teams, and cycling-related nonprofit organizations. And I am the guy that is going to get you from the bike place where you are now to the bike place where you want to be. And how am I going to do that? Hey, we got Vincent Mosier. How am I going to do that? Hey, Vincent. How am I going to do that? Vincent, I have three ways. If you are a do-it-yourself kind of guy and you got your bike and you just want to sell it yourself on eBay or marketplace or whatever, but you don't have an idea of how much to list it for, just call me up. I have a sense of what a good price will be. I'm more than happy to share that with you, and I will also be able to provide you some tips on how to ship it and also where to list it, stuff like that. But let's say you don't want to deal with the process of selling your old bike gear. You want to just hand it over. I am the guy that will do that work for you. You definitely have better things to do, and you are definitely better at other things than experiencing the cut and thrust of the secondary market for used bike gear. We got all sorts of ways of getting your stuff from your space to our space. Call me up. I'll tell you how to do that. It's very easy. It's the only work you'll ever have to do. Additionally, let's say you just want to consolidate all of your bike gear into one bike. And you've got time trial bikes and mountain bikes and cross bikes and accessories and gear and all this stuff in the barn. And you just want to consolidate it all into one. I am more than happy to help you sell all your old stuff. And then I can identify a frame set or a bike that is going to be right for you. And you can take the proceeds from the sale of all your old stuff and go out and get that bike. I can even help you with all that. But just give me a ring, 207-415-3746 on any questions about any of this stuff. I am the guy that's going to get you out of the psychic prison where you are right now to that place, that freedom, that happy place where you can get out and ride your bike. But wow, enough of that. That's a long intro. Didn't mean to go so long, but let's talk about this Cannondale. It's relevant to what I was just talking about, and it's also a very cool bike. This customer turned up with a whole pile of bikes and gear and this new Cannondale CAAD 13 frame set, and he just said, I want to get this frame set on the road. And I sold all his old stuff and I spec'd out the frame set for something that was right for him, and this is the result. So it's a beautiful looking bike. It's a CAAD 13 aluminum frame with a carbon fork, and I have to say I really like the Cannondale frames. Thanks, Vincent. A viewer. I can't believe it. We got someone who's actually watching. The reason I like them is that they're really versatile. You know, you can use them on the road. You can use them on dirt roads. The geometry is not too aggressive. It's a great all-around frame. I've seen a lot of them come through the shop, and they always do well in the secondary market. That's another reason to look at these frames. And of course, they've got the latest sort of features in the geometry, the drop seat stays, and this one's rim brake, but it's got a lot of clearance for tires. It's running 28s right now. You can get 30s on there, no problem. 32 is going to be a squeaker, but that just goes to show how versatile this frame is. So it ended up, it was a unique project because this is a rim brake frame, but we managed to get the latest generation SRAM Red Access ETAP components on it, and that's because SRAM still makes SRAM Red Access with mechanical rim brake functionality. So it worked out, and it's beautiful. We've got a SRAM Red quart power meter on here with 5239 chain rings, 1128 cassette in the back. It's wireless, so it has a very clean look to it. And with SRAM, you shift on your right to shift up, I think, and the left paddle shifts down, and then you put them together to go from the big ring to the small ring. I mean, that was new for me, but it's very cool. You get used to it. What else? It's rim brakes. So we've got the SRAM red rim brakes on there. Zip stem, Physique Arion seat, and then the Hunt wheels were a great choice. And I got to digress a little bit on Hunt wheels. They're a smaller brand, but they're great. I'm a believer now. The reason they worked out so well is in addition to being technically a great set of wheels, they're light, they're full carbon aero spokes, fast at 50 millimeter depth here. They can run 28 millimeters and probably up to 30. But the variability on the website is what really did it for me, and that is because you can choose all the various hubs. So you can do the Shimano, Campagnolo, SRAM, through axle, quick release, all the various diameters, and that was important because this frame requires rim brakes, a rim brake rim, and a SRAM red XDR or SRAM XDR free hub, and that is a combination that's just not available anymore off the rack. You have to order that specifically, and Hunt was able to do that. Not only did they do it at a great price, they did it really quickly. Customer service was just there immediately. The thing shipped in a day. I mean, a transformative experience, and it's really made this bike into something very fast. It's and light too. This thing weighs in at 16 pounds, 6 ounces, or 7.4 kg. So that was a great addition to the build. And as I say, they're running Continental 5000 28 millimeter tires on there. Let's see, this frame here, it's a 56. So, in general terms, it'll fit a rider who's 5'10" to 6 feet, 6 feet in height. The effective top tube is 57 centimeters. Head tube is 16 centimeters. The distance from the center of the bottom bracket to the top of the seat is 74 centimeters. We've got the lizard skin green bar tape to match the finish, which is another thing that I got to digress on. And that is, the finish here is Team 26, and Team 26 is the 26 riders who rode from Sandy Hook, Connecticut to Washington, D.C. In 2013 to raise awareness about gun violence. And it's part of the Sandy Hook Ride on Washington organization. And the green was, matches the kit that they had. So Cannondale, because they're not far from Sandy Hook in Connecticut, they provided a bunch of frames in that green. So the Team 26 has a whole story, and I have to say I was on that first ride from Sandy Hook to DC, and I think it was in 2013. And the cycling part of it was fantastic. I mean, we rode 200 plus miles from Connecticut to Pennsylvania and Maryland, and beautiful terrain. We met the mayor of Baltimore. We had police escort through DC, and we ended up on the lawn in front of the Capitol and meet the vice president. All that stuff was great. But the thing that I will never forget was at the beginning of this ride, meeting the parents of the 20 children who were killed. And that was a profoundly sad moment. And, for most of us, for a great majority of us, gun violence is this thing that happens somewhere else to somebody else. It doesn't affect us. But I promise you, the day that you meet somebody who has been directly affected by that kind of gun violence, you will immediately recognize how horrible and how awful it is, and how unacceptable and inexcusable it is that it just keeps on happening. So, check out Sandy Hook Ride on Washington on Facebook. They're doing a lot of things in addition to, their rides. So, wow, that was a lot of material. If you're here 10 minutes, it's we've gone way over, but then we got 2 viewers. Wow. Anyway, if you like this bike, it's too bad you can't have it because the customer is going to pick it up, next week. But if you are interested in turning all your old stuff into something new, or just getting rid of your old stuff, I'm the guy who is more than happy to help with that. You can call me on the phone, 207-415-3746, or if you don't know how to use a phone, you can use the Instagram and the Facebook and the email and all that other stuff. I'm happy to talk to you that way. Whew, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again.